Welcome, my dear learners. Welcome to the world of exploration. Welcome to the world of learning. Let's start exploring. Let's start learning. This is Sikriti Joshi, and I welcome you, and let's dive deep into the process of learning. So today we are going to have a look at the clauses, right? This is what we are gonna have a look at. Now, what do we mean by a sentence, right? You must have heard a lot of times we keep on talking about sentence, right? What do we actually mean when we say the word sentence? What do we mean by sentence? See, a sentence is a group, right? It's a group of words. So, for instance, I am saying intelligent. So now let's make a sentence. She is an intelligent girl, right? Or Sukriti ma'am is an intelligent girl, right? For instance, we are saying that, right? So herein we are talking about a group of words, which actually makes it to sentence, right? Let me just clean all this. So we were talking about sentence. What do we mean by sentence, right? So sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. So it should make sense. It shouldn't be that you're using, like, for instance, intelligent is she girl, right? So intelligent is she girl. This would be wrong. This is grammatically wrong, right? So this is grammatically wrong. So this is also the when we talk about sentence, it's also a group of words, right? One word, second word, third word, fourth word. So this is also a group, right? But this doesn't make sense. This does not make sense, right? It does not make sense. Therefore, we cannot call it sentence, right? Understood? So far, so simple and easy, right? With me, it's always easy. I know that, right? Because my methodology of teaching is very different and it's far superior. I know. So the sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. As such, it contains a subject and a predicate. So it contains a subject and a predicate, right? Now, as such, it contains a subject and a predicate containing a finite verb. So it also contains a finite verb, right? We also talk about the finite verb, right? Then sometimes it has one or more objects, right? Sometimes it has one or more objects. So sometimes it has one or more objects. So what do we say? Sometimes it has it can have one or more object. This pen is an object, right? So sometimes in a sentence, we can make use of one or more objects, right? So sometimes it has one or more objects. It is independent and grammatically self-contained. So it is independent. You also need to keep in mind that it is independent, right? Yeah. And grammatically self-contained and self-contained. Grammatically self-contained. Clear? Understood? Now, this is what we mean by clause. Having a subject and a predicate, a finite verb, independent is independent, grammatically self-contained, contained. one or more objects. It can have one or more objects. Clear? All right. Let's talk about the clause now. What do we mean by clause? So clause is a part of the predicate. Clause is the part of the predicate. So whenever we talk about predicate, clause is the part of it, right? It is a part of the predicate. I don't know why this sound is coming. Forget about that sound. Listen to me very carefully. So clause is the part of the predicate, right? Now, and has a finite verb. So it has a finite verb, right? So clause, whenever we are talking about clause, it has a finite verb. We earlier also discussed about finite verb, right? When we talked about sentences. When we talked about sentences, then also we discussed about the finite verb, that how it contains a subject and a predicate containing a finite verb. So clause contains finite verb and a predicate. Here, so clause is a part of it is a part of a predicate only. It is a part of a predicate. So you can say clause is a part of a predicate. So predicate being a larger thing. So clause is a part of the predicate and has a finite verb, and it has a finite verb, right? It also has a subject, but it is depending on the principle, right? It also has the subject. So it's not that it only has, we are talking about predicate over here. It also tends to have subject, but it is a part of the predicate, right? But it also tends to have subject. It's not that it does not have subject, right? It also has a subject, but it is dependent on the principle or on the main clause, but it is dependent. This one is dependent on the main clause, right? It is dependent on the main clause, that is, or the principal clause, right? Or the main clause or the principal clause. Clear? Now, if I talk about kinds of clauses, these are the kinds of clauses, right? Now, kinds of clauses. So you have the following are the kinds of clauses. The first one being the principal clause that we discussed over here, right? So principal clause, right? Then we have coordinate clause. Then we have coordinate clause, right? Then we have subcoordinate clause. Then we have subcoordinate clause. So we have the principal clause, we have the coordinate clause, then we have the subcoordinate clause, right? These are the kinds of clauses. Remember, these are the kinds of clauses, right? So whenever we are talking about kinds of clauses, we have the principal clause, we have the coordinate clause, we have the subcoordinate clause. We also talked about principal clause over here, right? And we talked about that how clause is a main part of the predicate, but it also has subject. It also has finite verb, right? Subject is dependent on the main clause, that is the principal clause. So principal clause is the main clause. So kinds of clauses, when we are talking about the different kinds of clauses, we are talking about the three types of clauses, right? Mainly the principal clause, secondly, coordinate clause, thirdly, subcoordinate clause. So obviously you can break coordinate into subcoordinate, right? It would turn out to be subcoordinate clause. Okay. Now let's move on to now there are three kinds of subordinate clauses. Now, again, this is divided into three, three, three types of subordinate clauses. One, two, and three. One, two, and three. So you have kinds of, when we talk about clauses, it has kinds of clauses, three types of clauses. Then the first one being the principal clause, the second one being the coordinate clause, the third one being the subordinate clause. And when we talk about subordinate clauses, it again has three categories, right? It is again divided into three categories. Now, those categories are adjective clause. So, adjective clause, adverb clause, I'm writing C for clause, right? So C for clause, or should I write? I write the entire thing. So it has adjective clause, right? It has adverb clause, and it has noun clause. Right? So now, when we are talking about the subordinate clause, it is divided into three major types again. The first one being adjective clause, the second one being adverb clause, and the third one being noun clause, right? So adjective clause, adverb clause, noun clause. Clear? Understood? So far, so good. I have made your life very, very simple. This is a very tough and a very difficult topic. So you should be uh, able to understand this topic in an easy way. So I have tried to make this topic very simple and very easy, although it's a very, very difficult and tough topic, right? So you should be listening very carefully, and you should be able to understand and comprehend easily, because I am teaching in a way that so that it becomes easier for you to understand. Okay. All right. Now let's move on. Can we move on to some other sheet? Yeah, we can. So why won't we earlier doing that? I have wasted so much of my time and energy. If I would have known I can move to page number 2, I would have moved. All right, so then we are talking about adjective clause, right? So we come on to adjective clause. Now we are talking about adjective clause. Clear? Now, when we talk about adjective clause, it's a clause which acts as an adjective, is known as adjective. So a clause that acts as an adjective is known as an adjective clause, obviously. And a clause which acts as an adjective, simple, is known as an adjective clause. I'm writing in short, adjective. It's known as adjective clause. Clear? Understood. You should be able to understand. So a clause which acts as an adjective, as adjective is an adjective clause. Clear? Most often it can replace an adjective or adjective phrase. So most often it can, whenever we are talking about adjective clause, it can replace. So it can replace an adjective, right? Or an adjective phrase, or an adjective phrase. Clear? So it can remove either an adjective or an adjective phrase. Example, Mrs. Sharma has a black purse. This is an adjective. Mrs. Sharma has a purse of black color. Adjective phrase, right? Now, Mrs. Sharma has a purse which is black in color. This is adjective clause. You get to see the examples. Now we are gonna have a look at the examples, right? Now, if we talk about the examples, now, what do we get to see? That how Mrs. Sharma, when we talk about Mrs. Sharma, right? Mrs. Sharma has a black purse. Let's suppose has a black purse. What is the color? Black, right? Has black purse. Here, this is an adjective, right? This is an adjective. Now, the second sentence over here that I'll be making would be Mrs. Sharma Mrs. Sharma has a purse, has a purse of black color, of black color. This is adjective phrase, right? This is adjective phrase. So Mrs. Sharma has a black purse and Mrs. Sharma has a purse of black color. Has a purse. So Mrs. Sharma, for instance, Sukriti Joshi ma'am of English Gurukul has a black purse. Or Sukriti Joshi ma'am, forget English Gurukul right now. Sukriti Joshi ma'am has a black purse. Or Sukriti, that would be an adjective, right? Right now also I'm wearing black, so you can, I mean it's multicolored, but you can take it to be top of black color basically, because black is prominent. So suppose Miss Sukriti Joshi has a black purse or has a black top, that would be an adjective. Miss Sukriti Joshi has a purse of black color or has a top of black color. That would be adjective phrase. Now we have to make adjective clause. How would we do that? We would do it like Mrs. Sharma. Mrs. Sharma has a purse. Has a purse which is black, in color. Black in color. Right? This is adjective clause. So Mrs. Sharma has a purse. Mrs. Sharma has a black purse. Adjective. Mrs. Sharma has a purse of black color. Mrs. Sharma has a black purse. That is adjective. Mrs. Sharma has a purse of black color. Adjective phrase. Mrs. Sharma has a purse which is black in color, This is the adjective clause. Now, in sentence number 1, black is an adjective. In sentence number 2, of black color is an adjective phrase. So when we are talking of black color, right? When we are talking about black. When we are talking about of black, when we are talking about This will erase everything. When we are talking about of black, this is adjective phrase. When we were talking about black, right? That was an adjective. And when we both of these can be replaced with an adjective clause which is black in color. So which, as I have mentioned, which is black in color when you are using the word which, this makes it to, oh god, this, where did my, yeah, this makes it to, which makes it to adjective clause, right? Understood? Now, so both of these can be replaced by with an adjective clause, which is black in color, or relative clauses are the examples of the adjective clauses. So all relative clauses are the examples of adjective clauses. Understood? A clause which follows a noun or pronoun is known as an adjective clause. So a clause which follows a noun or a pronoun, clear, is known as adjective clause. Is known as adjective clause. That is an adjective clause. Clause which follows noun or pronoun. That is adjective clause. Clear? The said noun or pronoun is called antecedent, and the said pronoun or noun or pronoun is antecedent. Antecedent. Yeah, understood. Then we move on to relative clauses are made by the relative pronouns and relative verbs. So relative clauses are made by the relative pronouns and and relative adverbs. So relative pronouns, wait, page. So relative clauses. I'll write C for clause, right? So relative clauses are made by the relative pronouns and pronouns and relative adverbs and relative adverbs. Clear? So relative clauses made up of relative pronouns and relative adverbs. Clear? So herein we are talking about relative clause is made up of relative pronouns, right? You should be able to understand what do you first go and see. What do you mean by pronoun? If you are not familiar with what is pronoun, what is an adverb, you will not be able to understand. So you should be able to understand what do you mean by an adjective, what do you mean by a pronoun, what do you mean by an adverb, right? So relative clause is made up of relative pronoun and relative adverb. Clear? Understood? I hope it is clear. All right. And all relative clauses are the examples of adjective clauses. So all relative clauses are the examples of adjective clauses. So these are the examples of. So whenever we are talking about relative clauses, we are talking about that how they act as examples of adjective clauses. Clear? Relative, adjective. So suppose adjective is, related to relative. And obviously, when we are talking about relative, that means, as we tend to have our relatives, similarly, adjectives also tend to have relatives, right? Similarly, so there are, when we talk about these terminologies, you have to, you know, consider them as a group and as a family, right? So somebody is big, somebody is small, somebody is, but it's a family, right? So you have to learn in that way. Then you will be able to understand. Clear? All right. Then we move on to relative clauses are made up of relative pronouns and relative adverbs that we have done. Then relative pronouns which make adjective clauses. So relative pronouns, relative relative pronouns which make relative adjectives, है ना? Right? So relative pronouns which make relative, sorry, not adjectives, clauses. Right? All right. So the examples being who, whose, whose, whom, when, whose, whom, wait, whose, when, no. Whose, whom, which, that, as what, whatsoever. Right? So these are the relative pronouns which make adjective. These are the relative pronouns which make the adjective clauses. Why have I written relative clauses? Which make adjective clauses, right? So the examples being who. This is WHO. Who, whose, who, whose, whom, which, whose, whom, that, that, as what, whatsoever, right? Then, next, relative adverbs which make adjective clauses. Now, this is relative adverb. Keep that in mind. Which make adjective clauses, right? These are relative adverbs. These were relative pronouns. Keep that in, right? We are talking about, herein we talked about relative pronouns. Herein we are talking about relative adverbs, right? Which make to, which make adjective clauses, right? All right. So examples being when, why, how, whenever, where, wherever, right? When, why, how, wherever, where, wherever, whenever, wherever, right? So these are the examples. In the next series, we will be covering adverb clause. Today till, so I should have known, I should have created pages so that it becomes easier for me also. All right. Oh, yeah. So can I go back to page number 1? Yeah. So we did clauses. We in fact studied about the sentence structure also, but that's not saved right here, and we can save also. All right. So this and then this is that here. So this is Sukriti Joshi signing off. Bye bye. Then till all right, till then keep learning. Let's all keep learning. Let's all keep growing. Let's all keep evolving. Right? Let's all keep exploring. All right. This is Sukriti Joshi signing off. Bye bye.